Night. Okay, Cade Cunningham, 45 points. And the Pistons avoided elimination last night against the Magic. Detroit never trailed in this game, although it did come close a few times. Paolo Banchero also dropped 45 points, marking the second time in NBA history that two number one draft picks have scored 40 or more points against each other in a game. The others being Shaq and AI in the 2001 finals. Okay, Game 6 will be in Orlando on Friday. Talk about being down in a series. The Pistons were down 3-1 in this series. They're trying to claw their way back into it. Can they do it? Can Cade Cunningham put this team on their back and they do it?
Yes, he has to. But when you're talking about missing Franz Wagner, the way he limped out of the arena last night, there was a shot showing Wagner doing that, the way he was not moving. If you tell me that Franz Wagner is going to be himself and what he was early in this series when they built that 3-1 lead, I would tell you Orlando's going to wind up moving on. But if Wagner's not going to be available, and again, the way he limped out of there last night, it did not look like he will be, certainly not in Game 6. Wow, I think it swings back to Detroit. It's asking a lot of Cade Cunningham to abandon his role as a real point guard on that team, because he's got to score probably north of 35 to give them any chance. We keep talking about secondary score. It's not like J.B. Bickerstaff can go to the pen and bring that guy in. It's got to be Cade. But if Cade's going to play like that, if he's got at least one more in him, and Wagner's not out there, I'd like Detroit to continue to move ahead in this series.
Tobias Harris helped out as well.
Tobias Harris did, but they still need more.
Well. Yeah, they need more than that. Go ahead, Stephen A.
Very simple. Very simple for me. If Wagner is not available, which it looks like it's not going to be, Detroit can certainly force a Game 7. If that brother steps out on the court, Detroit is done. Everybody can look at Cade Cunningham and what happened last night. I don't look at it as a good sign. I look at it as a bad sign. And here's the reason why, Wilbon. This brother is a star. This brother is something special. Make no mistake about it. Where the hell was everybody else? And I don't want to hear a single syllable of negativity echoed in the area of J.B. Bickerstaff. It ain't his fault. You don't have Tim Hardaway Jr. You don't have Malik Beasley, even though that's his fault more so than the organization's. You don't have these guys. Come on now. What have you given him to work with? Yeah, they were the number one seed and they won 60 games, but and J.B. Bickerstaff did a great job once Cade Cunningham went down with that, the liver injury, and I get that. But the point that I'm making, is that he can't be the only guy. Now, Tobias Harris showed up last night, thank the good Lord. 15 years in the league, his experience came through, and he certainly made a contribution. But you need a bona fide, reliable contribution. You need somebody that's going to show up on the road, and Tobias Harris is going to have to do that again and help out Cade Cunningham, or somebody is. Duncan Robinson, this brother ain't some inexperienced novice. Show the hell up and help out Cade Cunningham. It's all hands on deck. And offensively, we know that Detroit is rough. They can play some defense. They've got some size. Jalen Durham, we like him a lot, but he's only averaging 10 points in this series. He has not been impressive at all. He certainly hasn't been the all-star caliber player we saw during the regular season, but that's okay because his upside is tremendous. And we got it. And he's a big man, on your front court. That's not who you're looking for. You're looking for somebody on the perimeter who can put the ball on the floor, create their own shot, wreak havoc that way, and not allow Orlando to feed off of that crowd momentum, elevate their defensive tenacity, and be all up in Cade Cunningham's back pocket. The man's going to need help in Orlando. It's the bottom line. We've seen the great ones, whether it's Kobe, it's Shaq, it's MJ, or anybody else. Wilbon, you know this better than me. There was always someone else that stepped up on the road. No matter how great they were and Herculean they were on the road, they always had help. It was not by themselves. At home, you could put forth a performance like Cade Cunningham did last night and offset Banchero's 45 points, by the way, who was sensational in his own right. But on the road, you need help. Who's going to step up and help Cade Cunningham in a Game 6 in Orlando? That is the question. I have no doubt Cade Cunningham is going to show up. It might not be for 45, but he will show up. Who the hell is going to help him? Detroit better have an answer to that question or they're going home.
Yeah, this is a game. And if you're Orlando, you're treating this like a Game 7 too, because you don't have to You don't want to have to go out there again and tee it up without Franz Wagner. We keep going back to that same point, Hammer. There's no real secret at this point, right? I mean, you we're talking about Stephen A. Yes, there could be an X factor. Yes, somebody that we don't expect could wind up having a big game 6 or a big game 7. You're not going to get 2 of those. It's expecting a lot of Tobias Harris, as good as he was last night, to go on the road and do that in Orlando. So Cade Cunningham, look, he's an overall number 1 pick. And until Detroit is able to add somebody, that's the offseason. That's not for this week. Detroit's going to have to probe and search and figure out. JB is going to have to help them as much as he can string something together, cobble something together to get through a game 6.
It's just a lot to ask a Cade.
It's a lot
45
to ask.
points, and that game was close down the stretch, too. I mean, the Pistons never trailed, but it got close a couple different times. Let's stay in the East in what was a very...
Welcome back. The Rockets beat the Lakers 99-93 in Game 5, spoiling Austin Reeves' return to the lineup as Houston forces a Game 6 after being down 3-0. Houston was once again without Kevin Durant due to a sprained left ankle. Here's what Shaq and Charles Barkley had to say after the Lakers' Game 5 loss.
The crowd was flat. They played flat. They played with no intensity. They didn't have focus, and I'm glad the Rockets beat them. We know what needs to be done to win the championship. LeBron knows that. I'm surprised that they didn't come out with that effort and intensity, and I'm super disappointed in the Lakers.
But the Lakers know they're not going to win Game 6.
Why did we know that? Why would we know that if you're the Lakers?
Because the Rockets got all the momentum. They got all the momentum. They're going to win Game 6. If the Lakers going to win this series, they're going to have to win in 7.
All right, senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst joins us now, and don't even ask about his sleep schedule. It's the playoffs, man. We're locked in. So, Brian, what's the biggest issue with the Lakers right now?
They can't score. If you look at what you need against the Rockets, you get 100 points, you're going to be in pretty good shape, especially without Durant. Lakers haven't cracked 100 points the last couple of games. There's a few things going on there. Luke Kennard, who was obviously huge for them, scored 50 points over the first 2 games. The Rockets have turned him off. He's 1 of 11 shooting over the last 3 games. Last night didn't make a single basket. Marcus Smart, who again was huge offensively earlier in the series, he had twice as many turnovers as he did baskets last night. And the Rockets have done something interesting. A team that's great on offensive rebounds, one of the best of all time. They're backing off. Only 6 offensive rebounds last night, their fewest of the season, to get back in transition, to turn off the Lakers' transition. This has really been about adjustments that the Rockets have made to keep the Lakers scoring down, and it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, and even in Austin Reeves' return, he really wasn't that efficient, even though he scored over 20, just got to the free throw line quite a bit. But meanwhile, Cade Cunningham scores 45 points to help the Pistons avoid elimination. So what stood out to you about his performance in Game 5?
Yeah, absolute grade A superstar performance. Team facing elimination. He goes back and delivers a huge performance. Look, he had games like this in the regular season. They went into Boston, he had 40. They went into the Garden, and he had 40. He has risen to the occasion before. The big thing that freed up his game here is three-point shooting. He had actually been shooting the three-pointer pretty well in this series. He just hadn't been looking for it as much. He was able to get that three-pointer going. That freed up some of the transition and some of the drives, able to put up a lot of points. Really a historic back and forth between him and Paolo Banchero, potentially setting the stage for an incredible end of this series between those 2 stars.
Yeah, and it's been an incredible playoff so far, Wendy. There's 6 first-round series that will go 6 games. That's the most since 2014. No easy outs, except if you're the Thunder. Brian Windhorst with us on SportsCenter. Thank you.